Some Cadillac SUVs will go 200,000 miles without major problems. Others won't make it past 80,000, and you won't know which one you bought until it's too late. Same badge, same look, completely different outcome. I've seen people buy what they thought was a safe Cadillac SUV, and 6 months later they're looking at a $4,000 repair they didn't see coming. I've also had owners pull in at 180,000 miles asking for nothing more than an oil change. The difference between those two people almost always comes down to one thing: which model they chose. And the number one worst on this list is not the oldest one. It's one of the newest. 3 worst, 4 best. Let's get into it. The first generation SRX, 2004 to 2009, opens the worst list. And it belongs here because it represents the moment Cadillac entered the luxury crossover segment and got the engineering badly wrong. The promise was real: sharp styling, available V8, all-wheel drive, a genuinely premium interior at exactly the right moment. Buyers responded. The early press was cautiously positive. On the showroom floor, this looked like the beginning of something. What was underneath told a completely different story. The 3.6-liter LF4 V6 in the first-gen SRX had a timing chain system that was notorious for premature wear. The rattle would start on cold mornings, then the variable valve timing codes, then the estimate: $3,500. $4,000, sometimes over $5,000 depending on how far the damage had progressed. On a vehicle worth $8,000 to $10,000 in the used market, that repair doesn't just hurt. This is where most people stop fixing the car. This is where it stops making sense. The V8 wasn't the answer either. The Northstar 4.6 brought the same head bolt vulnerabilities that had already ruined DeVille's and Seville's. Aluminum block, torque to yield head bolts, years of heat cycling, packed into a chassis so tight that labor alone hit $2,000 before a single part was touched. First-gen SRX owners also dealt with rear differential failures, sunroofs that leaked directly into the electrical harnesses, and stability system gremlins that were expensive to diagnose and more expensive to fix. This is not an option. This is a pattern that showed up consistently across ownership forums and in the repair histories of every shop that worked on these vehicles regularly. When you see a first-gen SRX priced at $3,000 or $4,000 and wonder why, the market figured this out a long time ago. It has priced these trucks exactly where the real ownership cost puts them. The second generation SRX, 2010 to 2016, is on this list for a reason that should sound familiar because newer didn't fix it. When the second gen arrived, it looked like a clean reset. Updated platform, fresher styling, modern infotainment. The 3.6-liter LLT V6 was a different application from the first gen LF4. Different casting, different architecture, and Cadillac was selling it as thoroughly refined. Buyers who had heard about the first-gen problems were reassured. This was supposed to be different. It wasn't. The LLT still had timing chain tensioner issues that became one of the most documented failures in second-gen SRX ownership. Cold start rattle, variable valve timing codes, the same estimate, $3,500 to $5,000. On a crossover that had depreciated into the $15,000 to $20,000 range, that repair is the decision point. This is where people start getting out. Carbon buildup on the intake valves made it worse. Direct injection without port spray meant those valve stems accumulated deposits with every tank of fuel. Rough idle, hesitation under throttle, misfires that moved between cylinders, $300 to $500 for a walnut blast service, intake manifold off the engine. Not quick, not cheap. This is not a rare problem. Oil consumption on some examples added another layer. Owners adding a quart every 1,500 miles on engines nowhere near high mileage. That starves the timing chain tensioners, accelerates wear on every lubricated surface, and turns a manageable problem into an expensive one faster than most people realize. The second-gen SRX also developed a reputation for front suspension wear that arrived well ahead of schedule. Power liftgate mechanisms that failed with enough regularity to generate consistent forum threads, and electrical gremlins that were expensive to trace and rarely cheap to fix. Taken individually, any one of these is manageable. Together, on a vehicle positioned as a reliable luxury family hauler, they added up to an ownership experience that did not match what buyers were paying for. Same problem, newer body, same outcome. The worst Cadillac SUV you can own right now is also the newest one on this list, the XT4, 2019 to 2021. This is the one people buy thinking they avoided all the problems. It looks like the safe choice. It isn't. The logic makes sense on the surface. It is a Cadillac. It is recent. It is priced as an entry luxury crossover competing with the BMW X1 and Mercedes GLA. Buyers who read about the SRX problems look at the XT4 and see the upgrade. Newer platform, modern turbocharged 4-cylinder, fresh design language. This should be different. Here is what actually happens. The 2.0-liter LTG turbocharged 4-cylinder in the XT4 is an engine that was designed for a compact economy platform and placed into a vehicle that weighs over 4,000 pounds. Under the kind of stress that SUV ownership involves, sustained towing, stop-and-go traffic in heat, repeated short trips, the real-world loading a family puts on a daily driver, this engine does not have the thermal headroom that a purpose-built SUV powertrain would have. The 9-speed automatic compounds this. The calibration on early models drew consistent criticism for hesitation and hunting between gears that buyers of a luxury vehicle had every right not to accept. Then the timing chain issues started appearing. GM released technical service bulletins addressing the timing chain tensioner on the 2.0-liter LTG in this application at mileages well inside normal service life. When a manufacturer releases a TSB on a timing chain tensioner for an engine under 100,000 miles, the message is clear. This is a documented failure pattern. The repair runs $2,500 to $4,000 on a vehicle that was positioned as a safe, modern choice. That is the same number that ended SRX ownerships. The vehicles are 15 years apart. The failure mode is essentially identical. This is where the math stops working. Infotainment problems, wireless connectivity instability, and software issues that required dealer intervention compounded the picture on early production examples. The 2022 and newer XT4 received a tensioner redesign through a subsequent TSB that addressed the most acute failures, but the 2019 to 2021 examples carry the full risk. If you are looking at an XT4, the production year is the most important number on the listing. What makes the XT4 the worst on this list is the gap between expectation and reality. Buyers paid a premium to get into a current generation Cadillac SUV and avoided what they thought were older platform risks. The SRX at least has the excuse of its era. The XT4 was engineered in an era where these failures should not have happened. This is the one that surprises people the most, because it shouldn't be on this list. And that's exactly why it is the worst one here. If you've owned one of these, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. But here's what most people don't expect. The same brand that built the SRX and the early XT4 also built SUVs that cross 200,000 miles on routine maintenance and leave owners writing comments about how nothing unexpected has ever happened. Same engineers, same factories, completely different outcomes depending on which generation, which platform, and which decisions were made before the vehicle went into production. These are the 4 that got it right. Number 4 on the best list is where Cadillac finally got the SUV formula right. The XT5, 2017 to 2023. This is what people expected the SRX to be. The 3.6-liter LGX V6 in the XT5 is a fundamentally different engine from every 3.6 application that caused trouble in the SRX. The timing chain architecture was redesigned. The direct injection calibration was refined to reduce the carbon buildup that plagued earlier applications. Manufacturing tolerances were tightened. Owners who maintain these engines properly cross 150,000 miles without major powertrain repairs. Some are at $200,000 and still in regular daily service. As a family SUV, the XT5 makes sense in ways that go beyond reliability numbers. The platform is composed and quiet. The cabin holds up over time. The infotainment system works the way it's supposed to. The overall refinement feels appropriate for the price point in a way that some of its predecessors simply did not. The XT5 is not exciting. It was not built to be. It was built to be a reliable, comfortable daily driver for 10 years without surprises, and that is exactly what it delivers. When XT5 owners talk about their cars, the most common thing you hear is that nothing unexpected has happened. And that's exactly what people wanted all along. The XT5 is the SRX done correctly. It took Cadillac a decade and a half to get here. The result was worth it. Number 3 is the vehicle that most buyers overlook entirely, and that is exactly why it belongs on this list. The XT6, 2020 and newer. The XT6 takes everything that works about the XT5 and puts it in a 3-row package. Same 3.6-liter LGX V6, same platform, same refinement. The result is a vehicle that carries families of 6 or 7 without the ownership penalty that usually comes with that size. What makes the XT6 underrated is that the expectation gap works in your favor. Most buyers walk past it to look at a larger, more expensive crossover and pay for a nameplate premium that the XT6's actual engineering does not justify. The LGX accumulated its real-world reliability track record across years of XT5 production before the XT6 launched. You are buying a proven powertrain, not a first-year application. Most people are paying 30% more for the same engine in a different wrapper. That money stays in your pocket with the XT6. Towing capacity at 4,000 pounds covers small trailers and light recreational use. For everyday family transportation, school runs, road trips, the loading a 3-row SUV actually sees, it handles it without the operating costs a larger platform brings. Most buyers who overlook the XT6 end up paying more for a vehicle with the same drivetrain and fewer seats. That is not a better decision. That is just a more recognizable name. Number 2 is the SUV everyone recognizes, and the one that requires the most honest conversation before you buy one. The Escalade, 2015 to 2020. The case for this truck is strong, and it is real. The 6.2-liter V8 produces 420 horsepower. Towing capacity at 8,300 pounds puts it in legitimate truck territory. Magnetic ride control delivers a ride quality that has no business being this good given the size and weight. The interior, after the 2015 redesign, was legitimately luxurious in a way that justified the Cadillac positioning. As a full-size luxury SUV, this generation set a standard that competitors spent years trying to match. Now, here's what you need to know. The 6.2-liter V8 in this generation uses active fuel management. In city traffic, the deactivation lifters cycle constantly under conditions they were not engineered to handle. Collapsed lifters and cam lobe damage show up on some examples at 60 to 80,000 miles. I have pulled valve covers on Escalades with perfect service records and found this damage. This is where it gets expensive. The repair runs $4,000 to $8,000. The fix is not complicated and it's not expensive. A Range Technology AFM disabler costs $270, plugs into the OBD2 port under the dash, and keeps all 8 cylinders active all the time. Install it the week you buy the vehicle, and the primary risk of this platform essentially disappears. This is a great SUV, but you need to know the risk and address it directly. Buyers who do end up with one of the most capable, most recognizable vehicles in the segment. Buyers who don't sometimes face a repair bill that redefines the entire ownership. The $270 fix is the difference between those two outcomes. There is no reason not to install it. And the best Cadillac SUV you can own is one the current market has largely moved past, which is precisely what makes it the right answer. The Escalade 2007 to 2014. This is what a Cadillac SUV is supposed to feel like to own. The reason this truck earns the top position has almost nothing to do with the Cadillac name, and almost everything to do with what is underneath it. That 6.2-liter V8 is LS architecture, the same foundational platform that has powered Corvettes, Camaros, and full-size trucks for decades. One of the most thoroughly proven V8 designs in automotive history, with a durability track record across millions of vehicles. Putting that engine in a luxury SUV was one of the smartest decisions Cadillac made during this era. This truck was honest about what it was: a large, capable, comfortable vehicle with a premium interior and a powertrain that any competent shop in the country can service without exotic parts or specialized tooling. The difference between a repair that costs $800 and one that costs $3,000 is often whether the knowledge is common and the parts are on the shelf. The LS architecture gives you both. It also means that when you eventually sell, you're selling something the next buyer can maintain without going back to a Cadillac dealer every time something needs attention. Active fuel management was present on some examples in this generation, but less aggressively implemented than in the 2015 trucks. And the same $270 solution applies. Outside of that, this platform's failure modes are predictable, well-documented, and straightforward to address. Water pump, throttle body, front differential service, maintenance items that show up at high mileage on a vehicle that has been used the way a truck is meant to be used. The 2007 to 2014 Escalade crosses 200,000 miles on routine maintenance with a consistency that is unusual in the full-size luxury SUV segment. Not occasionally, consistently. A well-maintained 2009 or 2011 Escalade with documented service history can be purchased for a fraction of what the 2015 and newer models command, on a platform with a longer real-world track record and lower ongoing maintenance costs. The depreciation already happened. The reliability data is already in. If you want a Cadillac SUV that just keeps going, this is the one. 7 Cadillac SUVs. 3 that will take money from you in ways you did not plan for, 4 that will deliver exactly what the name on the hood promises. What are you driving? And how many miles has it survived? If this helped you make a better decision, hit like and subscribe. More real-world Cadillac advice every week.